Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. I offer my humble pranams and obeisance to the divine lotus feet of His Divine Holiness Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. And with His grace and blessings, I welcome you all to this introduction to Satsang. I welcome all of the viewers from Facebook Live, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and all the social media platforms, gathered in all the Satsang centers, home Paduka Mandirs, Peethams, Adhinams, and temples all over the world. It's at this time every single day, no matter what time zone you might be in, that across the nation of Sri Kailasa, across the diaspora of Hindus, there's 2 billion Hindus all over the world, we all tune in to the Supreme Pontiff and what he has to deliver to us, the Paramashiva Jnana that he comes to express to all of us at this time. No matter where you are, either getting ready to go to bed and take rest for the day, or getting ready for a new day and wanting to start your day with powerful cognitions from Paramashiva. We are all here, gathered, tuning in to this auspicious time, Kailasa's Nithyananda Satsang. It is always such a pleasure to see all of the viewers who comment, share, are so excited and feel so auspicious, so excited when Swamiji comes, when we're all able to celebrate his words and his presence, when he graces us through the public platforms for Nithyananda Satsang. And not only that, as he graces us on planet Earth in this day and age, truly we all feel completely blessed. And I know that it is not just my feeling, but for all of you viewers out there as well. Yesterday, Swamiji had given such breakthrough revolutionary revelations, I might say, in what we are undergoing as humanity in a time of dire need. Across the world, we are seeing so many people affected, so many cases of the coronavirus. This pandemic has affected now 100,000 people, a little bit more than 100,000 people all over the world, with 5,000 deaths. And it's just been 3 months since the first outbreak. These statistics are quite startling when we first see them. And all over the world, many places are being shut down, being under quarantine. Travel is very scarce, considering now that this epidemic is completely widespread and the rates of the epidemic are still unsure. Like how you are able to get this virus, what is going on in the world is still very unsure. We're almost all of us are living, perhaps, if you might call it, in the brink of panic, where you're not sure if you might get this virus, if you might be affected at all. Swamiji yesterday, for all of us Hindus who identify as Hindu, gave us a solution, a traditional, organic way of immunizing all of us, vaccinating all of us without any side effects. He introduced a very old technique which has been a part of the Hindu tradition for thousands of years, called the Pancha Patni Vratam. He introduced it by introducing the goddess Mariamman. It is said that in a particular stotram of Devi herself, that she takes up the vrata, this particular vrata, and she takes up, as Swamiji said yesterday, this nirahara samyama, in order to heal the world, in order to bless the world. In so many different ways, the Hindu tradition has done this tyaga of taking up a vrata and taking up the nirahara samyama in order to heal and bless the world. In this particular stotram, Devi herself is known as Nithyananda Nirahari, who is the one who is eternally blissful in the fast, in the vrata, and is gracing humanity in this form. She is also known as a Mahatapasvini, the one who does tapas, who does penance for the sake of others. This is the way that our gods, our goddesses, have taken up the sacrifice in order to heal humanity entirely. Having reference to this, Swamiji declared that this Panchapatni Vratam and another indigenous practice called the fire walking practice, both of these, as well as the Mahavakya chanting, that all three of these will completely help, cure, prevent, and immunize you from getting this coronavirus. Across the Hindu nation, which we are all part of, and across all the 2 billion Hindus who are there, this is the official advice, the official stance taken by the Supreme Pontiff, the embodiment of Paramashiva, His Divine Holiness, Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam yesterday. And in order to explain what is this samyama, Swamiji has gone into detail about what are the steps, and of course we will discuss and present those to you as well. But first, briefly, let us go over what exactly is Nirahara Samyama. What is the context which Swamiji introduced to us back in 2012, and why we should do it? What is the benefits which come from it?
As each of us are getting ready for the Panchapatni Vrata, as mentioned by Swamiji himself in yesterday's satsang, where he so beautifully shared, Devi herself did the Panchapatni Vrata. She herself was doing the Nirahara Samyama. What is the real science behind the Nirahara Samyama? I wanted to take a few minutes to share with all of you what Swamiji has really shared about the Nirahara Samyama. The Nirahara Samyama is a technique from the Vedic tradition itself to explore and discover the different possibilities to live without any external input like food or water. What is exploring the different possibilities of the body? In reality, our body is a microcosm of the macrocosm, meaning we are a miniature of the cosmos with every possible intelligence we have stored in our body. Now, if a fish has intelligence in us, we can also swim. If a bird can fly, we have that intelligence in us, we can also fly. If plants can make food out of sunrise, then we also have that ability. We can also make food just from the every extraordinary capability and possibility is inside our biomemory. I'm going to explain what is biomemory in just a bit. So all we need to do is to explore and rediscover all these possibilities in us. anything and everything that is available in the cosmos, because we are a miniature, we are a microcosm of this macrocosm. Because we are the miniature of the cosmos, we also have those powers, possibilities, and capabilities. Nirahara Samyama is awakening one such possibility in us, which is to generate food, the life energy, the prana that we need, the life energy that we need, generating it from the air, the space, and the sun rays. Now, Nirahara Samyama is exploring the body's possibility to live without having any external input like food or even water. The purpose of the Samyama is to awaken the natural intelligence of making food of natural resources like sun rays, air, and prana, which is directly available in that space. Now, we have two things in us. One is a muscle memory and biomemory. Now, muscle memory relates to all the basic habits. Yesterday, I was sharing about the habit of drinking coffee in the morning, or some compulsive addictions that we have, the way we like some things, the way we hate some things, the way we are addicted to certain lifestyle habits. You have to watch TV while you are eating, or you have to use your mobile phone while you are listen to songs while you are sleeping. Some habits or the other. That component, which has the basic survival instinct and the basic knowledge we need to run our life, is muscle memory. Now, similarly, we have something called as a biomemory. Now, there are higher intelligence that we learn in our past lives. For example, in the past, we have all been a bird. So the ability to fly like a bird. We have all been a fish because we have evolved from one being to the next. Now, when we were all a fish, we learned how to swim. Ability to live underwater. Ability to produce food directly from the air and sun rays. All of these possibilities and powers are in our biomemory. We have it from our past life. Then the question that we will have, if we have all this intelligence, if we have all these powers and possibilities in us, how come we are not able to express it today? How come we feel we need food? How come we feel I cannot fly? Please understand, human beings over the ages, we have put so much food into our body. Right? Now we have stopped the ability over the last few janmas or few lifetimes that we have taken, different bodies that we have taken, we have dumped so much food into our body that we have curtailed, stopped the awakening of the body's natural intelligence of creating food from within ourselves. Swamiji so beautifully says, the moment we assumed the body of a pig, buffalo, or bull in our life's journey, in our evolution, we stopped our natural intelligence from functioning. When we were in the body of plants and trees as a part of our evolution, we had that natural intelligence to create the food that we want. Now, when we evolved to other bodies, the next level of animal bodies, the taste for solid food made us dump so much food into our system, which caused us to even forget the natural intelligence of being able to create food from air and sun rays. Now, the Nirahara Samyama that Swamiji is introducing is simply reawakening that original intelligence that is already there in our biomemory. And through the Pachapatni Vrata, which is a great prevention and a cure for the coronavirus epidemic that is spread all over the world, when we do the Pachapatni Vrata, not only we save ourselves from contracting that virus, you also awaken the body's intelligence to produce the food, the life energy that you need from the space, the air and sun rays. And Swamiji gives a beautiful meditation. It's actually one of my favorite meditations. The meditation that he gives is just sit in a comfortable asana, okay, like a sukhasana, or sit even in a chair. Breathe in through the nostrils and the mouth together. Breathe through both your nostrils and through the mouth together. Hold it as long as you can comfortably hold it. And while you are breathing in, just visualize you are the Bidadi banyan tree receiving the food and energy from the space. Now, the Bidadi banyan tree is very much available as a live darshan. The Kalpavriksha is available as a live darshan for all of us. Even otherwise, you can just take the picture of the Bidadi banyan tree. As you are inhaling through both your nostrils and the mouth, just visualize you are the Bidadi Kalpavriksha, the Bidadi banyan tree, as how it is taking the life energy from the air, from the space, from the sun rays. Just inhale that life energy, hold it as long as you can comfortably. You can hold that breathing and exhale through both the nostrils. Do this for 20 minutes. This will awaken your body's memory, your body's food that you need, the life energy that you need from the air, that space, and the sun rays in and around us. It's a beautiful meditation. Hope all of you do the Pachapatni Vrata, immunize yourself from the coronavirus, and not just that, use this opportunity to awaken the natural intelligence in our biomemory. That's what I wanted to share with all of you today.
With this context of Nirahara Samyama for us, I invite you all, you can sign up for joining this cause in order to end the pandemic of coronavirus. All across the world, so many people have already signed up for this joint initiative, this global initiative. You can sign up at nithyanandahinduuniversity.org/daily satsang. Fill out the form for the Panchapatni Vratam, and you can start the process, the instructions that Swamiji has gone into. This Vrata, this Nirahara Samyama, actually is ingrained into Swamiji. It is one of the best gifts, even if you think about it. It's one of the best gifts that Swamiji has given to all of us. One of the greatest contributions from his entire mission. And like all of his contributions, the root is in his own life. It is something that he has himself practiced, himself been the living example of. He is the living testimony of the greatness, the ultimate status of his truths, of the truths which he is sharing, the Paramashiva Jnana which he is expressing. I'd like to share a short story from his own life which Swamiji has narrated about the Nirahara Samyama. From a very young age, Swamiji has been studying, dedicated to these texts, the spiritual Veda-agamic texts, which today he has made into libraries, which he has revived. All of that, those habits, that passion started as a young child through his gurus, Mata Vibhudananda Puri and Isaki Swamigal and Yogananda Puri. Swamiji got a basis, a foundation of Hinduism in these spiritual texts, the sacred texts of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Swamiji at one point was told by his gurus, Mata Vibhudananda Puri, Yogananda Puri and Isaki Swamigal, to do the Nirahara Samyama, to start this Samyama, this Vrata, where he is not having any solid food. His gurus are actually very esteemed, well-known saints of Tiruvannamalai. As you can see in the pictures, his gurus are seated in front of Panchamukham, one area in the Arunachala hill where you can see all 5 of the hills, the hillocks of Arunachala, the sacred hill which is the embodiment of Paramashiva himself. Isaki Swamigal and Mata Vibhudananda Puri were adept at the sciences, the Vedanta, and were initiating continuously Swamiji as a young child into all of these sciences. And that is why they wanted him to also take up the Nirahara Samyama. The truth that Swamiji shared during this story is that when we do the Nirahara Samyama, as Manyanatma Swami just shared, our body, our biomemory, our muscle memory starts to invigorate, to activate. And we suddenly are able to grasp the higher truths, the Paramashiva Jnana at a higher level, at a higher frequency. So at this time, Swamiji was asking, why do I have to do all this? In his own Leela, he was asking, in his own childish way, at that time, he was asking his gurus, why should I take up the Nirahara Samyama? Why are these diets and restrictions, as he thought of at the time, why are these all there in Hinduism? So his gurus told him, okay, you go and eat whatever you want, go and have all the sweets, all the food, all the snacks, whatever you want, and come back. Immediately, Swamiji did that. He had whatever he wanted and came back, and he himself testified to the fact that when he was on a full stomach, when he was completely full of all this carbs and all of these, his stomach was continuously digesting, he could not understand the truths from the Upanishad that were being taught to him. At that age, at such a young age, no small boy at that age will be so dedicated to requesting completion for the difficulties on our side. His Divine Holiness, in this way, as I was saying, exemplified the truth of what he was teaching. This Nirahara Sanyama is time-tested, foolproof, lived and by His Divine Holiness himself. And he is, even until today, practicing, showing the world the way actually that Nirahara Samyama works. Even in recent satsangs, His Divine Holiness has revealed that it was through the Nirahara Samyama itself that so much of poison that the anti-Hindus had infiltrated into his system had been completely cleansed and detoxified. This Nirahara Samyama, as we have explained before, is something which Swamiji started in the year 2012. It is one of the many gifts that he brought to the world. He is explaining in this way from the very beginning how the food is actually not just food to us. Food is so much more in our society. More than what we perceive it to be. Food is connected to emotions, to love, to care, to fear. Everything is related to food. And unfortunately, in this day and age, we see so much of toxicity, corruption in the way the food and pharmaceutical industries have worked together, continuously being bombarded with media images of food, of wanting to have fast food, of wanting to have non-vegetarian food, or food which is processed, food which is processed with toxins also. All of this being made completely okay, being made even appetizable. The food industry, the media industry and the advertising industry is responsible for how much we are understanding, how much we are suffering because of food-related diseases. If you see all of the diseases which humanity is truly suffering, diabetes, high blood pressure, colonitis, all of our whole digestive tract, it pleads our body for complete cleansing. However, because of our food-related patterns, we are always dumping so much of this poison inside of our system. This is why Swamiji has brought the Nirahara Samyama out and has revived this tradition, this indigenous tradition from our sacred scriptures. Swamiji explained very clearly to all of us the way that food-related patterns work on our system from a very young age. When our food.
Actually, just want to add one point here. In Nirahara Samyama, when the physical food intake is reduced, even the intake through other senses, the ahara which we take, everything will get complete. The completion should be brought to all the aharas. The in nirara samima, it's very easy to bring back and complete with all the food patterns and the aharas, the sense, all the senses. And also it develops the higher psychology, like not only our physical system, but even in our physiological flow need to cooperate in our body. The various component of us in our body, everything needs to be integrated, and it will be in Nirara Samima. It's very easy, and it's very easy to integrate it to experience the state of Paramashiva. I remember on 2017 in Satsang, Swamiji has said that he can lift even if we are 500 kg weight just by a look, by awakening our Kundalini Shakti. But he won't be able to lift even if there is a 5 grams of toxin in our body, if they are sitting in our body, because the 5-gram toxins are the death weight. And through the Nirara Samima, first Nirara Samima is a science, but in Nirara Samima, just through Nirara Samima, we can just heal our body mentally and physically. Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
And not only that, I think all of us can really understand and speak to the point where in our lives, outside of Sri Kailasa, before becoming Adinavasi, how much we are influenced by the food industry. Coming from the United States, coming from a completely material consumeristic society, the food, how we are eating food is just a culture. And of course, in the Vedic civilization, our food and our intake is a culture, but we only have celebration and feasts during the festive times, during the festivals. But during the other times, we use that time in order to cleanse our system and detoxify. However, in the Western society, coming from my experience, it is absolutely opposite. The way that we are continuously dumping the food toxins into our system. All of these brands that we know of, McDonald's, Starbucks, who are continuously putting their advertisements on TV, media, continuously rolling their advertisements, even on social media. Even if you're going in the bus and you're scrolling through your phone, you're seeing advertisements for food and you're thinking, oh, let me have this. Why not treat myself?
Actually, when you're sharing this, I remember one of my, before I joined Gurukul, I used to feel eating the burger, pizza, KFC is something really cool. Like how the modern day, how you were sharing, ma, like how the modern day kids all the time say and watch the, how like they feel about, oh, pizza or burger, it's something cool. I remember one Swamiji told in one satsang, yes, they make our bodies completely cool dead. When we die, our body will completely cool, and burger, pizza, KFC are cool, no doubt. They also make you cool dead. What Swamiji meant in this particular truth is, before I explain, what was my understanding when Swamiji revealed this. Also Swamiji said, fire in the stomach is gone. If you eat all the burger, pizza, KFC, if you eat the cool, if you just make yourself, if you feel that the foods are so cool to eat, even when you die, your body will become so cool. And the fire in the stomach will be gone. It will just vanish. I did not understand when Swamiji said the fire in the stomach part. I thought how in Indian dramas when mother-in-law sees the daughter-in-law, the mother-in-law will say, my stomach is burning to see you. I thought, oh, that stomach burning only Swamiji is mentioning. But only after we had Vakyada Sadas, we used to have Vakyada Sadas in Gurukul. When we were in Vakyada Sadas, one of the Balasans shared this truth in more deeper level. Like how our body is made up of 5 elements: fire, water, air, earth and space. When a normal being who consume the heavy toxic food, we will not attain the purpose of our birth. We will not attain the purpose of this birth, and we will not achieve the space of enlightenment. When we die, our body will release the complete negative energy, because the Jadarakni will not be alive. The Agni in our stomach will not be alive. For an example, in all our Puranas, enlightened masters, yogis, even when they stop operating their human body, the energy, the Agni, the fire will be so intense. When we just enter into their samadhi, when we just go to their the Garbhagraha, yes, ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am. One thing that I was remembering when you were sharing, right, when you were in the outer world, how eating burger, pizza, everything was cool. And naturally, if you look back, for I think all of the Adinavasi, Sannyasis, or even the devotees who have now switched after Swamiji's teachings to a more organic diet to Nirahara, you can all definitely see how, right? But before, whenever we used to eat all the junk food, burgers, everything, and we would fall sick, the connection between the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry was so much, they will never tell you because you ate, that is why is the problem. So you stop eating, you get healed. No, continue to eat and take these medicines. You can eat whatever you want, and you take this medicine, you take this for indigestion, you take everything. So Swamiji in one satsang very beautifully explains, if there is any system of medication that tells you eat whatever you want and take this medication, it is a complete conspiracy against you. Because the simple solution is stop eating. The problem came from eating itself. So they never tell us that, right? So that itself is so clear how it is just a business, so that they continue to have their business. I just remember this while you were saying.
Thank you, Ma. I just remembered, even for me, when after Swamiji revealing the truths, for me, when I was like wanted to eat all the burger, pizza, KFC when I was outside, after I started doing yoga, only I understood the meaning of the fire in the stomach. I experienced one of the 5 elements, the Jadarakni in my stomach. I just would like to, before we move into the next segment, let us watch a video clip of Swamiji explaining the underlying problem of 99% of the teenagers.
One of the worst thing I saw in the modern day, the chemicals, fertilizers, the remains of the fertilizers in your food, pesticides in your food, gets into the brain groove. Even teenage kids start developing this groove of, I don't want anything, life is too much, and I just don't want to live. These words, these ideas become cognition of even teenage kids because of these remains of pesticides and fertilizers in the food. Understand? Pesticides and fertilizers remains, those toxic chemicals in the food. Don't think they kill you slowly by bringing diseases and cancers. Very recently, a few kids who come for the programs, and I was seeing the thought current of suicidal withdrawal tendency from them. I just put my hand on their head, wanted to see what is the brain structure, the software structure, and where is the problem, what is the source of the problem. Understand? All thought currents exist in the cosmos. For life, celebrating life, against life, life neutral, life negative, suicidal, withdrawal, passionate, aggressive, passive, all types of thought currents exist. whatever type of the body, mind and system you have, those thought currents become cognition in you. The moment they touch you, you touch them, something clicks, you fall in love. That becomes your cognition. One of the shocking truth I found is the kids fed with the toxic food, animal based, or this chemical based. Please understand, pesticide and fertilizers, this chemical based food is equivalent to animal based food. Both harm your possibility for enlightenment equally. Even I am shocked when I discovered this.
Sharing the real happening, the real problem the teenage kids are facing now. Not only they withdrawing from life, we teenagers start enjoying, but we started enjoying when we withdraw from life. We also started enjoying being in the space of life negativity, because it's almost became like an addiction in our system, in our mind. Once I remember, I just want to share one of my best experience I had. Once I remember when me and my family was traveling with Swamiji and with Sangha people to one of the temple, my sister asked Swamiji if she can have veggie pizza. Swamiji just looked at her and said, Kanni, I'm your father, I can say yes immediately because you are my daughter. But as a guru, it is my responsibility to make you and give you the enlightenment. With so much of love, Swamiji asked her again, now tell me what you want, pizza or enlightenment? Obviously, because she is Swamiji's daughter, she chose the enlightenment. She wants to achieve enlightenment. I was so amazed seeing the conversation. How much we have to think, how much time it will take for Swamiji to just grant what she wants. But the level of integrity, how Swamiji respond, I could see the love Swamiji carries for her. If we all are here in Kailasa, enjoying the organic Ayurveda food, we are blessed. Thank you so much. I just want to share with all of you.
Actually, so much of research has gone into just the health markers, how the diet affects our health, how it affects how we are aging. What Swamiji is saying, how Swamiji is so integrated to somebody's enlightenment, is not just for the sake of it. He is doing it because there's a science behind it. There's so much of there's so much of research, of scientific data available which can support all of our seeking and all the enlightenment science which Swamiji is giving. I'd like to quote a specific research that has happened just recently on March 4th, 2020. Just 2 weeks back, the Stony Brook University in New York published a research article, a presentation on a new development that they have made in their neurology department. Dr. Lily-Ann, who is a professor, university professor, researcher in this university, and her team conducted research on how diet affects your aging. The first discovery which they made is that your aging starts at a much younger age than what is normally known, what is normally thought of. They saw that at the age of 47, your body is starting to decay. The cells in your body which are dying and which are growing old and weakening are doing so at a much faster rate than the cells in your body which are growing new, which are being born new and changing. So aging starts sooner than what we think. Now, Dr. Lily-Ann and her team had to answer why. Why is this happening? They found that the way that the brain is communicating with itself, different parts of the brain, of course, need to communicate itself because it's a higher, extremely high complex which needs to operate all of the functions of our body. So, the glucose which is an extremely important fundamental component of our body, and not only that, it is in our diet. This is the very foundation of our diet. If you call a carb diet, this is the very foundation, the very basically a simple block, a sugar block of our entire diet. These complex carbohydrates that so many people are talking about in people's diet, it starts only from glucose. The researchers found that glucose, the ability for the brain to metabolize glucose starts to decay, and this particular molecule is actually slowing down the stability of the communication networks within our brain. Meaning the diet, the amount that we take in glucose is actually a marker for how fast we age. Then Dr. Lily-Ann tried new components, new trials for what will reverse aging and what will actually work for us to restabilize the communication networks within our brain. And let me remind all the viewers that this is a very essential component of our brain. It is extremely necessary within our biological functioning. Dr. Lily-Ann and the researchers then found out that a low-carb diet and ketone supplements, adding and drinking the ketone supplements, is actually a key to having a stable metabolization inside the brain and actually they found that the aging process of the brain was reversed, was that the brain systems and communication networks which were already starting to age, which were already starting to destabilize, we're starting to turn back in time. We're starting to grow healthier. This is a revolutionary discovery made by Dr. Lily-Ann and her team because it's not that easy to be able to turn back time, especially when it comes to extremely complex cells in the brain like neurons. What Dr. Lily-Ann found is that a low-carb diet and ketone supplements will actually reverse the process of aging within your brain. And she has, not only that, I must mention that she has done these tests on 1,000 people from ages 18 to 88 with lot of different habits, different variables within their diet systems and their maturity and so forth, that these tests are actually applicable. And what does a low-carb diet and ketone supplements have anything to do with Nirahara Samyama? It means Nirahara Samyama itself is cutting down the amount of carbohydrates which you are consuming daily. It is managing and supplying your system with herbal juices, which are actually the ketone supplements which they are having. Nirahara Samyama actually basically simulates the tests which Dr. Lillian had run in her labs, in her research, showing and giving a lot of evidence for what Swamiji is saying is the benefits of Nirahara Samyama. It is a true marker in the aging process, and not only that, it helps so many different brain disorders and diseases which we find developing through age. For example, Alzheimer's and dementia. All of these are extreme diseases, disorders which many people face within our society as we age. However, this Nirahara Samyama, the low-carb diet, as Dr. Lillian has researched, is a perfect way to reverse and slow down that aging process and slow down the process in which our brain starts to defunction, which is exactly anti-aging in itself, again, which is exactly what Swamiji has been saying about Nirahara Samyama. If you are interested and excited about this Nirahara Samyama, if you understand now, having seen this scientific research about it and understood, I invite you to sign up at the link provided below, nithyanandahinduuniversity.org/daily satsang, in order to sign up for the Panchapatni Vratam which Swamiji has started. This Vratam is not just Nirahara Samyama. I can say it's maybe an expansion of it, because Swamiji has introduced this Vratam in order to end coronavirus pandemic, which is affecting the world, which has put the whole world into a emergency mode, into a very, very at-risk position. Now, if you're watching this, I'm sure the thought and the fear stroke of getting coronavirus must have entered your system. And you might be confused. On one side, there's a whole media articles and a lot of media journalists and articles, news sources, which are saying that there's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about coronavirus. You don't need to worry at all. That some of them, people are even saying that coronavirus and this pandemic is much less in comparison to some of the pandemics which we have gone through before. And so many people are trying to convince you there's nothing to worry about. On the other hand, many people are trying to convince you that you have to worry, that you should not go out, that you have to be quarantined inside your house, and that you should not travel, that you should cancel your vacation plans. The whole government system, so many people are trying to say, on the other hand, trying to contain the panic which is already out there. You might be confused what to do, how to really handle the situation. And now Swamiji, of course, ordains and tells that no matter where you are, you must follow the law of the land. You must follow whatever the government there in that land is saying. But this Panchapatni Vratam is a pure, traditional, organic way of being able to combat the coronavirus without having to go through unnecessary panic. If just you reduce the amount you're eating and start to bring more consciousness by doing the processes and supplying your body with various herbal juices, with these ketone supplements, these supplements which are very much needed in your body, detoxifying the body. It is a simple solution to all of the problems, all of the symptoms which we find in the coronavirus. One thing I want to reiterate also is that many people have taken to a lot of Hindu traditions in order to combat this coronavirus already. Vegetarianism is starting to be promoted in just by the health advisory boards, saying that you should not eat meat, you should contain your diet, that you should ensure that you are not having any poisonous foods, because the virus itself can be brought unto you. You can get this virus by having extremely unhealthy meats. So vegetarianism in itself also being supported by health advisory boards internationally in order to combat the coronavirus and in order to contain the pandemic which is going on. We should all understand that if we just take it a step further and allow our system to digest, to detoxify, and we start doing this vratam, it'll be the best way to prevent and immunize our body against the coronavirus. If you are interested in this, samyama, in participating in this and helping healing the world, you can sign up at the link below. And while we are at it, while you are waiting for Swamiji, I also invite all of the viewers to use hashtag #AskTheAvatar and tweet at Sri Nithyananda in order to ask any of the questions that you might have. Swamiji yesterday gave so many revelations on this traditional immunization which we practice in the Hindu diaspora across the world. However, if you have any questions about it, if you want to know what to do, or if you have any questions about any other topics that Swamiji has brought up the last few days or over his entire public life, you can ask. Now you have the opportunity to ask and be able to get your questions answered by Swamiji. If you just use hashtag #AskTheAvatar and tweet at Sri Nithyananda, your question might be answered by the avatar himself, the embodiment of Paramashiva.
Actually, listening to this sharing of till now whatever all of us were discussing about this entire Pachapatni Vrata. Actually, yesterday very beautifully Swamiji was explaining in Satsang how this is an age-old tradition. It is not something new. This is an age-old tradition which is practiced in the Samayapuram Mariamman temple, where Devi herself does Nirahara, where even the Naivedyam that is offered to her for those days, that entire Nirahara, she follows only jaggery water and buttermilk. That's what is offered to Devi herself. And that tradition that was started by Samayapuram Mariamman is followed in India itself. In the North India, some just saying they call Mariamman as Shitala. So all of these Devis, this Nirahara, this Pachapatni Vrata is followed all around. It's an age-old tradition. Actually, all of the traditions, whatever existed in the Vedagamas, it was always directly impacting the well-being, the physical well-being of the person. If you see, no doctors existed to earn out of somebody's illness. But unfortunately today, for all of us, the whole thing has become in such a way where people earn out of our illness.
Swamiji very briefly explain this, from what Swamiji has told us. The kind of system that was there during the Vedic times, actually even as recent as Swamiji's time was, in very few villages, including Tiruvannamalai, where Swamiji was born and brought up, the whole structure of the economy was designed in such a way that the doctor only earns when you are healthy. He cannot earn when you are sick. Today, on the contrary, we can very clearly see how the doctor can earn only when you are sick. I just wanted to share how the system works. So Swamiji is explaining how the doctor will ensure that the patient is cured. Let's say the patient is a farmer. So the doctor will ensure that the farmer is cured, and when he gives medicine or gives the treatment, the farmer does not pay to the doctor. Instead, when the farmer becomes healthy, healed, he goes on the field, he works in the field, and what he harvests, out of the joy that the doctor has healed him, the farmer goes and shares that to the doctor. Actually, and that is the way how our ecosystem, the way the whole economy was functioning. And that very clearly shows how the doctor's interest will not be on the person falling sick, but instead it will be on the person being well. On the other hand, today, only when you go and pay to the doctor is going to get money. So obviously he is only going to make sure you're sick. Actually, it's very clear. It's like when one side they try to make sure you're not completely sick. On the other hand, they make sure you're not completely alright. They make sure you're in a way maintained and neither sick nor healthy. So that they only make sure you are reached till the level of maintained. So you can keep going back to them. Whenever you fall sick, you can keep going back to them and giving them more money.
Actually, today, if you see, even as per the statistics that is published by the WHO, the World Health Organization, majority of the illness that is happening to people today, almost 1 in every 10 people are affected, and majority of these diseases are food-borne. Actually, in the Satsang, Swamiji tells very beautifully that food in our ancient tradition, there was no medicine that was separate and lifestyle. Whatever we lived and practiced, it was such a healthy lifestyle that very rarely people had to go. But today, it has become like a hand-in-hand thing where we go and eat at our favorite place. We go and eat the food that we like in some fast food and some good restaurants. And then after that, they ensure that we go back to the doctor, which only reduces. There is no complete cure that they will immediately give.
Actually, when you're talking about this, I'm just reminded of what Swamiji explained even in Satsang yesterday. When there is gas in your stomach, even what you feel, even you will know what is happening is not aligned to your life, or what is happening is not for your life. It is against your life. But you will continue to do that action. If so many of us know, eating a burger or a pizza, how much it has effect on our lives, how much it affects our lives. But when you actually go see the pizza or go and see the burger, you automatically take and you eat it. This is in a very cunning way, the whole of humanity is just put into this delusion where any food you consume, see, only if you consume it, you start becoming addicted to it. But the addiction itself, for you to have that addiction, there are so many additives which are added into the food. And that food is presented in such a way that it ensures that there is a gas that is caused inside you.
Actually, here one point, like, it is so unfortunate today, unconsciously, like, even I know there are many people who are genuinely wanting to cure. Many doctors, they go study doctor and all of that just to genuinely find a cure for people. But unfortunately for us, the very system that is created, it is ensuring it is a monotonous cycle. One helps the other, and then that helps. It's the same. It goes hand in hand.
Actually, I should say it's not even known to that layer of doctors. See, whom we go and meet in the clinic, they are like the last people who are actually treating us. But there is an entire system which is controlling all these doctors. And there are, like Swamiji tells, how the whole, like the people who control the entire world are just a handful of people who can just sit in a round table and have a meeting. So that bunch of people are the ones who are deciding like this. So this changes the studies that they are studying, the medicines that they're exposed to, the amount of discoveries and inventions they're exposed to. We cannot blame the doctors. It's not the doctor's fault, but the system itself is made in such a way that they are for sure going to control you rather than curing you or do anything else.
Actually, in fact, I want to share with you all this article from the World Health Organization, and all of you can see that on the screen. The World Health Organization, when they took the statistics, like I was sharing with all of us, food-borne diseases, the diseases that is caused by eating the wrong food. And for us, when I say wrong food, I'm not just meaning going to say McDonald's or something and eating some fast food. No, I'm saying the very food, the normal food that we are eating, even the ones that are labeled natural, play a safe game. Because unfortunately today I was shocked. There are so many things that label it as completely natural, 100% natural. Then I read it. So then when we read the details, we get to know that natural doesn't mean it is organic. I am shocked. Today it has become branding, marketing.
I think we should also mention about what are all the things under natural. So people, like, we actually understand the difference.
Actually, how the entire food industry defines natural versus organic. In natural, still they can continue to use pesticides, they can continue to use all of that, but organic only doesn't mean that. So natural is just an attractive word that they put. And today, this entire food industry and pharmaceutical industry is working hand in hand. And that is why, unfortunately, many of the diseases are continuing to stay in our system without being able to find the cure. And these ancient traditions that we have had, which today is being brushed aside saying esoteric past, it's a direct solution for healthy living. Even diseases like the coronavirus, Swamiji very beautifully told that how this plague Annamalayar, by worshipping him, and how fire walking is a vaccine for coronavirus. All of these are not joke. It's a science that is established, where it is legitimately established to everyone how it can cure deadly diseases. In fact, if you see in our Vedic references, Poon Pandyan, a king who had hunchback, just through Basma was healed and straightened. We have clear evidences for this. These are not just myths and age-old stories. And the only way each of us can revive this. Today, I know now there might be many doctors. I know there might be many people who know your own family is suffering with diseases like coronavirus. And many of you might want to become a part of finding a cure for this. And one thing is, when Swamiji himself has decided to do the Pachapatni Vratam, each of us, whoever wants to contribute, to be a part, somehow make a change in the world, this is one of the rarest opportunity, because we are becoming part of the movement that is directly created by Paramashiva himself. Today, one solution, I would say, one of the main backbone that is there to revive these traditions, to revive these lost sciences, the spiritual incubator, the spiritual laboratories that are there to revive these sciences are Sri Kailasa. Everywhere around the world. There are so many sannyasis. It's so happy that today in the Sangha we have so many sannyasis who are inspired, who are just, all of us, I'm just waiting to join back with the Sangha, because I know if I become part of the Sangha, I'll be part of the greatest movement of creating Sri Kailasa around the globe, which will remain as spiritual laboratories and spiritual incubators for these techniques and process to happen successfully. Like Swamiji was sharing in how, like in Arunachala Sarvagya Peetham, they did the fire walking. All the Oneness with the Avatar program participants did the fire walking. And I know now they're all vaccinated. Spiritual vaccination is done for all of them, and none of them can be affected with coronavirus, just the way Swamiji says. So it is a huge opportunity for me to even share this, because I am yearning to become part of the Sangha, so that I can also be part of this movement to establish the legitimacy of Sri Kailasa, and I can also be a small part in this huge vision that Swamiji is reviving.
Nithyananda, actually, what you are explaining just now, actually I was just listening to the whole pre-hosting which you guys, everything you presented. One thing which we all need to understand, that whatever Swamiji is doing, it is only to uplift humanity. Be it it's from one fire walking, one ritual to anything. It is only relation with how the conscious evolution can happen in humanity. If you remember a few days ago, Swamiji was saying in the satsang that lot of defamation and lot of abuse all the sannyasis have gone through while this persecution is happening. One thing which personally, I was the one who was defamed, who was called by various names, with various bad words. But all I can say is the strength which Swamiji has given, nothing has affected. I can say it has only made me much more stronger to stand and to show all those abusers, all those people, those who have called me prostitute, those who have called me a head of sex racket, those who have called me with all kind of bad names to show me as the person, somebody who you can see very low. Being a girl in a society, if I just wanted to talk with all the viewers, those who are seeing. If your daughter, if your sister, if your mother is abused, how you will feel. The pain, I know what Swamiji would have gone through when he's seeing that his own daughters are being abused like this. But even after that, I'm really honored that Swamiji really compared me with Draupadi. The first cognition, the first reaction which I had is, I have literally not done anything, Swamiji. But Swamiji gave me that honor. And to keep that word of Swamiji, which Swamiji has given me, Swamiji has told me that Bhakti Priya is Draupadi. Today, for all those abusers, those who are watching, I know you all are watching. I don't have time to have any kind of bad words talking to you, because you don't even deserve that. You only deserve to see the success. You only deserve to see how the Sri Kailasa will happen all around the world. And with that, the integrity which I have and the love which I have for Swamiji, and Swamiji has trusted me as his daughter. Today I want to declare that India will have Sri Kailasa as the official status in India. The embassy of Sri Kailasa will happen in India. Today I really wanted to do Tyaga of all my lower inner image, for all my doubts which I can see that, how things can happen, how things will move. Today, by keeping Kalavarava as a witness, I seek Swamiji's blessings and Sangha's blessings to make Sri Kailasa happen in India, where Swamiji is persecuted. Yes, the place where the persecution happened, that place will recognize Sri Kailasa as a nation. With all my integrity to Swamiji, I want to declare that Ma Bhakti Priya will be working towards it and make it happen. This is my first step, and I know when you take first step, Swamiji takes 1,000 steps to make that happen. And the whole world will see Sri Kailasa will get established around the world. Everybody, every single human being is going to recognize, respect with all their love. And they'll realize that Swamiji is the only one who is standing strong for Sanatana Hindu Dharma. I think I just wanted to conclude with this declaration and seeking Swamiji's and Sangha's blessings. Thank you, everyone. Nithyananda.
Thank you, Ma Bhakti Priya. For a strong declaration in the face of so much of abuse. It is absolutely warranted the way that you have stood up and told the whole world what is expected and what they should be expecting from you. For all of the viewers, once again, I'd like to remind, as we have been speaking this entire introduction, and in the face of this very daunting epidemic called the coronavirus, now Swamiji has given a clear-cut, traditional, organic way to immunize yourself. And not only that, a global initiative to entirely heal the world from this coronavirus pandemic. He has declared that within 28 days, we will heal the world. The entire epidemic will be cleared and healed, and once again, a part of history which we triumphed over. Swamiji introduced that Pachapatni Vratam in order to bring to the world a new, or what I should say is a revived tradition. What we have always been practicing in Hinduism, where the vratas are taken as a way to completely heal the world, not only healing and detoxifying your inner space, but entirely healing the entire world. This was the original context through which Devi herself took up this vrata from the day of Masi Magam. And she took up this vrata in order to heal the world. In that same context, we are taking up this vrata in order to entirely heal the world and heal ourselves, detoxify ourselves as well. So once again, I invite all the viewers, join us in this global initiative, which is spearheaded, cognized, revived, and declared by the Supreme Pontiff of Sri Kailasa, His Divine Holiness Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, and executed by the Pontifical Council for Holistic Healthcare in collaboration with Sri Kailasa United Nations for Alternative Healthcare and Holistic Healthcare, as well as Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for healing chronic illnesses. All of these entities together across the Sri Kailasa nation are working towards ending this coronavirus pandemic, affecting so many thousands of people all over the world, bringing so much of tension, fear, panic within of the citizens of all of the countries all over the world. And no matter what, whether you get the disease or not, it should not affect our daily lifestyle. It should not bring so much of fear stroke inside of us whenever we're hearing the news or seeing and witnessing maybe our relatives, our community members going through such a hard time in our lives. This is the time to hold the greater context which Swamiji himself has given through this vrata. Once again, you can sign up for this Pachapatni Vrata in the link below at nithyanandahinduuniversity.org/daily satsang. Go ahead and select the option to sign up for this vrata in order to end the coronavirus. Last time, in the beginning of February even, Swamiji announced the first initiative to end this coronavirus, to heal the world of the coronavirus. And he announced the Akhanda Mahajapa, which was extremely effective, if I might say. We have even collected the data and presented on the as a internal publication as well, on how the Akhanda Mahajapa, participated by thousands of people all over the world, of a 48-hour period where we were continuously chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, how it actually affected, how it really slowed down the rates of which the coronavirus was spreading across the world. The Akhanda Mahajapa was so successful that the rate, even the Chinese officials and the Chinese government had released articles, had released announcements saying the rate of the pandemic had actually slowed down and started to become a little bit more stable. Now, with a fresh and energetic new context, new energy, Swamiji is starting once again a global initiative to address and heal the entire world of the coronavirus pandemic. No matter what it is in Hinduism, it is the contribution to the world, the service to the world that has become the brand of Hinduism. No matter what we do, whether it may seem for personal benefit, ultimately the context is for the entire world, for the healing of the entire world, for bringing peace to the entire world, for empowering each and every individual. This is the context behind every Hindu ritual, every vrata, every samyama, every process that we are all a part of, that we all practice in Hindu tradition. And if I might add, it is the basis, the foundation of what Swamiji has built as Sri Kailasa, and is also promoting in this movement, not just promoting, but working for, with tremendous, immense amount of hard work, sincerity. Swamiji established the movement of Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations and is working towards 108 causes, with more to be added, for global peace, feminine empowerment, and such global causes that affect the entire world, no matter where you are. And essentially, that is who Swamiji is reaching out to. Swamiji beautifully said in a satsang that he is born from Hinduism but for the entire world. It is absolutely true that upon even declaring the Sri Kailasa nation, Swamiji has brought these sacred truths which he has revived from Sanatana Hindu Dharma to the global scheme applicable to anyone across the world. So if you are watching this right now, perhaps you are one of the 2 billion people across the world who identify as Hindu. I promise that these teachings that Swamiji is revealing that are being imparted by His Divine Holiness are for you and are the solution to whatever problem which you may be going through. If you are just scrolling through Facebook and find this video, I urge you to stop, to listen, to understand, and imbibe the truths as you are not doing anything else but witnessing the happening of Paramashiva on planet Earth, the greatest happening on planet Earth at this moment. And no matter what, even a slight agitation on Facebook which you might be feeling to scroll through, you should not miss this satsang. Now, it has come time to await His Divine Holiness, the Supreme Pontiff of Sri Kailasa. As we are waiting, I invite all of the viewers to use #AskTheAvatar, and you can ask any question that you might have for Swamiji. You can tweet at Sri Nithyananda and have the opportunity to have your questions answered by Swamiji during today's live satsang. With this, I invite you all, welcome you all warmly to sit with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Breathe deeply, chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And await eagerly, with such yearning space, to experience oneness with Paramashiva. Await the darshan of Swamiji, of Paramashiva himself. Thank you, Nithyanandam.